Hello and welcome to Legion of Dogs Interactive Feeding. We are going to talk about using interactive feeding toys to keep our dogs busy. There's various situations when we might use it. Today I'm using interactive feeding to keep my dogs busy because I have cleaners coming and no one wants their dogs running around while they have cleaners. You could do it for guests, visitors, if you're having a gathering, if you have a service person coming to do repairs or anything like that. Recommend putting any of your dogs away that would find it really exciting or over arousing. In my case, I have 4 dogs and I only crate and put away 3 of them for visitors and cleaners because my senior Chihuahua just stays in his bed. He doesn't really move around too much. He might come over to say hi, but he doesn't jump on people, that kind of thing. So when we're making interactive feeding toys, you can use raw food, you can use kibble, you can use other things like peanut butter, veggies. I've used wet dog food before. So in this case, I have the Kong Classic toys that I'm putting the raw nuggets into. So the nuggets are a smaller portioned amount. You typically use those for feeding my Chihuahua, but they make really good Kong stuffers. These ones are frozen, but you can thaw them out first too. I like to do the frozen because it takes them a little longer to eat them. In this case, that smaller one is for my puppy, so I wanted to make it easier for her to get. So she is a slightly smaller Kong. Then in the topples, what I've done is I've filled them with some kibble, and now I'm going to seal them up with some peanut butter. Typically, if I'm looking for lower calories, I'll use a wet dog food instead of the peanut butter. But today, this is just what I happen to have on hand. So I'm sealing them up. You always have the choice too of also freezing them, which would make it harder. Or if I really wanted to make it hard, I would mix the wet dog food or the peanut butter and the kibble together and then stuff with them as a full mixture. But I'm not trying to make a high difficulty level. I'm just trying to give my dogs something to do for an hour that will also incorporate their meal. So those all get sealed up. I seal up the little hole in the front too. They like licking the peanut butter out. If you didn't want to seal up the hole in front, they could hit it around. You can also get small topples and big topples that can connect together. So you can make the toy different doing that. And then for the Kong Geniuses, sometimes I've actually done things like put carrot sticks and celery and things like that in them. In this case, what I had available to me just for today, because I wasn't planning too much, is just their kibble and the Kong Geniuses. So that's kind of the plan there. So they'll have a little bit of raw, they'll have a bit kibble, some peanut butter, and it should keep them nice and busy and happy for the time they have to wait in their crates. Reason I ask my dogs to go away when I have people coming over is especially with younger dogs, they get really overstimulated and over-aroused, and it can create behaviors they don't want. So things like jumping up, barking at people, getting excited as a group. So if it wasn't my cleaners where I wanted my dogs put away the whole time, what I would do is put all my dogs away and bring them out one at a time, starting with the calmest dog and then working my way out to my craziest one last, so that they're entering a room with other calm dogs and the people instead of having all the dogs come out together and having the energy level really, really high. So this can be a really good strategy for people who struggle with their multiple dogs with people coming over. And so my dogs, when they're waiting away from people, have a couple of options. I have an office where they have crates. I also have a camper van, which I use for dog shows with crates in it. So in the case of the cleaners, because I want them to be able to clean throughout my whole house without any kind of disruption, I am crating my dogs in my camper van. The weather's pretty mild today. We have fans and insulation in there, so it's completely safe. But if I was having visitors come over, especially for like a longer period of time, I would crate them in my office and then just bring them out slowly to meet everyone. Especially given that my puppy, who's just under 6 months old, really, really gets revved when meeting people. So it'd be really important to do a slower protocol with her, especially if you're having multiple visitors come over. So stuffing the Kong Geniuses, I do find it kind of hard. You can buy treat sticks from Kong for these, but I'm a big fan of just using food that I would normally feed them. So you can see everything's all stuffed up and ready. I made one of each for each dog. They're waiting for them now. And here they are waiting in their crates. So these are my van crates. And they all know they get a treat when they go in there. Sometimes instead of interactive feeding toys, I'll do a bone instead. So they'd each get a big bone. But today they're getting the toys because that's what I have. I didn't have any bones today. So you can kind of alternate between what you use. The main idea is that it's something that's going to last them a while so that they don't feel stressed, that they're quite happy waiting around in there. And then instead of dinner tonight, we'll just have like a little tiny snack at the dinner time. And we always go for a walk later in the afternoon, so they'll have a chance to burn some of this off too. There'd be nothing wrong with using only one feeding toy. You don't have to use as many as I am, but I like to give them a variety. I find that's good. Some of the dogs prefer one over the other. The puppy sometimes struggles with some of the feeding toys, so having extra options for her is nice. And all of these can go in the dishwasher when I'm done. So nice, easy way to have my multiple dogs relax.